Hey everyone, Dieselty Meme Tano, the internet's busiest music nerd, and today we're reviewing the music of Oli London. See, reviewing the discography of Oli London is kinda hard, because it's kind of like reviewing a third grade choir. It's kinda bad, kinda off-key, and the production's so low value, you feel kinda bad making any genuine criticisms of the music. But we're going to do that anyway. So I think first and foremost, we got to talk about what is an Oli London. For those of you unfamiliar, Oli London is not a musician. He is a delusional man with a vanity project. And his discography is the manifestation of a vanity project. Now, everybody knows that Dieselty Meme Tano doesn't get political. But Oli London getting surgery to dress up and look like and act like a Korean person might be one of the most unintentionally funny yet racist acts of 2019 that nobody canceled. Really, as the internet's only music reviewer with a successful channel, I honestly don't think that's a problem. What I think is a problem is his cover of Last Christmas from Wham. If George Michael could be spinning in his grave, he'd be doing 360s right now. Outside of how Oliver London Twist looks, how is the music, which is why we're here today. Luckily, Dal Duchesta was in, so I was able to get him to explain Oli London and a bit of his background for you at home. Oli London is a London-based K-pop star, you know, and he's very famous for spending over 100,000 doll hairs on, plastic surgery. You know, it's a really interesting reason why he did this, Dieselty Meme Tano. It's because he wants to look like his favorite K-pop star. I think they called him, he's like a stan. Anyway, he did that. Oli London, he wants to look like his favorite K-pop star, you know, because he's a thing that the kids call stans. He did that to look like Jimin, his favorite K-pop idol. I watched this reality TV. It said he wants to kiss Jimin, give him a big kiss, so that way they look like each other and, you know, kiss each other and give each other a big kiss. Honestly though, you can't lie. His music, it just kind of slaps. Well, yeah. Thank you, Dal. Appreciate that. Keep doing that. Really appreciate it. Well, really, when we get into the music nitty-gritty of Oli London, what we're seeing is really a low production version of all the K-pop music that's been really popular the last couple of years. Really, you get all the bombast in K-pop, all that pop and rap influence in that music. You know, things that people like to listen to. Well, Oli London's music is kind of like that, except it's lacking those things that people like to listen to. The tracks here are kind of doing the bare minimum really, to pass off as K-pop music. They're doing just enough that you could say, maybe this was brushed by a Korean person at some point. But when you get into it and look at the production of these things, you realize what's really going on here. Really, Oli London's music is Korean words input with normal pop music. Most of it's in English. Really, I don't know if you guys knew this, but K-pop, it's from Korea. Korean people speak Korean. So Oli London must have Korean in his songs in order to be K-pop. And so he uses like one or two K-pop or Korean words in the entire song. When you look at these tracks, it looks more like Oli London learned his Korean from Google Translate. In fact, I would say he doesn't speak Korean, he speaks Google Translate. What's really funny is that when you look at these tracks, you can tell the producer was trying their absolute hardest to be in some way flattering to Oliver London. So you get a lot of tracks here that are just compensating for his inability to sing. Lots of post-production was done on these tracks in order to make it sound like he was singing instead of talking. Really, that and the production is just compensating for his lack of lyrical talent or ability to sing overall. Also, while I know this is a music review, you can't tell me that Oli London just has the whitest dancing ever. Just, it's so stiff. I assume it's from the surgery, but luckily he sings about that. These music videos get even better where Asian people just show up and dance instead of Oli London dancing. Because K-pop videos have Asian people dancing, so Oli London's music videos need to have Asian people dancing. So we'll start off this review of discography by going over his hit single, Perfection, which was one of his first tracks to debut. If I had to explain Oli London to someone who doesn't have any idea what Oli London is, I would really use Perfection as my basis. Really, Oli London's song Perfection is just the Mind song from Lazy Town, but not as good and not self-aware and not funny. Here, in fact, I can sing the melody of Mine from Lazy Town with Oli London's lyrics. And, I know it'll sound very similar to the original Mine song, but that's part of the problem. Everything is mine. Everything I buy is mine. Is forever mine. Is forever mine. Really, I'd like to say that the lyrical genius of Oli London precedes him, but most of these things are just about as basic as you could get. This entire song is just him talking about how great he is. To be honest, it's even worse than most of those YouTuber flex singles. You know, those music videos and those songs where people talk about how rich and wealthy they are. Because, assumedly, Oli London just has himself and nothing else. The song basically boils down to this message of, you hate me cause you ain't me. But look, I did a survey and Oli London, absolutely nobody is lining up to be you. When you look at this music video, and in fact all of these music videos, it just looks like that Oli London should be in The Fifth Element. Like, he just stands out. Like, he doesn't look like a person. Really, this song is kind of like someone talking about how great they are, but they lack the bravado and talent of a Kanye West to really pull it off. So instead, it comes off more like a person trying to be cool when in reality everyone knows they're not. The next track on this discography is pretty much more of the same thing. It's a song titled Butterfly, which is about how his surgery and plastic surgery and his love for K-pop star Jimin was able to get him in a position where he felt more like himself, even though that stands in direct contradiction to him trying to get surgery to look like Jimin. Aside from that, you got a feature from Korean rapper Stein here, or Sten, or I can't pronounce his name, and he's basically doing all the heavy lifting. I think somebody got the message to Oli London that there needs to be some Korean in this K-pop. So then Oli London went and goes to get a Korean person to be Korean in his music video. And the post-processing in this video to smooth out Oli London's completely distorted face is just absolutely astounding. Everybody looks like they have that Instagram like influencer filter where all your pores disappear and you're as smooth as like a baby, like a wax baby. It's about this point in all of the music tracks of Oli London that one would start to think, what makes this K-pop? What are the hallmarks of K-pop? And how did we get here? Because wow, are these tracks awful. Like, if we're trying to determine that K-pop is pop music made in Korea, well, Oli London is in the United Kingdom. It's in his name, so this is UK pop? And then on top of that, if one of the requirements is to be Asian, Oli London is Caucasian. But aside from wanting to be an Asian person, he is about as Korean as Panda Express is Chinese food. And then Oli London isn't fluent in Korean. It comes off in his pronunciation. It's very stilted. So really, if you can't speak Korean either, what part of this is K-pop aside from you calling it K-pop? Genuine question, because as the only music nerd on the internet, I have no idea. Ironically, the most Asian thing about Oliver London's music is the fact that he hires Asian people to be in his videos and dance for him. I'm sorry, but it's just a little... I can't take Oli London seriously when he's this guy that looks like he's ending up in his 40s because of all the surgery, and he has a necklace around his neck that says Daddy's Little Stan. It makes it more like a comedy act than him trying to be a legitimate K-pop star. Now, the next track we're going to talk about is what I'd consider his magnum opus, and, that is probably not a good sign considering it's so early in his musical career, but now we're going to talk about The Heart of Korea. Honestly, it's at this point when I was listening to Oli London's music where I thought, maybe this is just a huge Tim and Eric sketch. Maybe Eric Andre is going to come out from behind a screen, maybe, like, Sam Hyde's gonna be like, oh, it was me. But you know, it just keeps going, and he does everything wrong in this song. Now, before we get into the music, we got to talk about the music video, because this one probably is the most ironically racist one out of the bunch. What makes this truly interesting is that, and I wrote this down because there was just so many that I had to. Let's see. In this music video, he is wearing a kimono, which is not Korean. He is wearing a Chinese umbrella, which is Chinese and, surprise, surprise, not Korean. And yeah, the video includes footage from China, which is not in Korea. And then he also says and does things like include music from a song titled Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence, which is a Japanese song. And you can thank the comments for finding this under Oliver London's video. Oh yeah, and all those sweeping shots of a city, he just stole them. Just stole them, you know, just so he can make his music. Now, as for the song itself, it's definitely his least engaging track. What this is a dance hall track. It's very simple, very by the numbers. There's nothing to make you go wow or enjoy it, you know. It's about as bland as elevator music, and that's really a shame here because he's working with a good sample basis. He doesn't say or do anything in this. He just dances weird in front of a green screen in this music video, and the song is just so empty and pointless that there's really nothing else to say about it. If anything, Heart of Korea really makes you think, where does he afford these things, you know? Like, where does he afford all the people and the editors and the everything, you know? What, this surgery is over $100,000 he's had. Where's it all come from? Do his parents pay for it? It really makes you wonder more about who Oli London is, which I guess is ironically more than any of his music could do on its own, so at least we're asking questions, just not the questions he wants us to ask. The discography of Oli London is only interesting because it's this weird look into some delusional man's vanity project. You know, it lacks proper music production, it just doesn't have any of the bombast or flavor that comes with real, genuine K-pop. It's lacking the formula, it's lacking the power of K-pop music. And then you can't even enjoy it ironically because unlike somebody like Tommy Wiseau, you know, Oli London's music is more like Birdemic 2, you know, where you can't enjoy it because everyone knows it's bad, including the people who are making it, but they're making it anyway because they know they can make a quick buck. And that's why it's kind of hard to even sit down and listen to Oli London's music, because there's just this air of like you're funding some just awful person continuing to do stupid things online. At the end of the day, I'm going to give these tracks a 2 out of 10. You know, at least he showed up. Some artists don't even do that. So, you know, appreciate the fact that you came into work, Oli London. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to go be vegan and tweet about politics. So I will see you later.